syndrome, first time we faced this about 3 years ago, in Indonesia, when we saw seriously 3 years ago. Otherwise, we have been, getting news from farms here and there that, there are ponds where shrimps are not growing. Probably it's due to, you know, poor quality of PL, which is the first target, that, or it's because of um, feed quality. Because, the problem, what happens, Ravi Garu, that most of the farmers, they, or even technicians, they don't want to send their samples for histopathology.
Yes.
What they would like to do, they would like to do a kind of formality. Okay, send samples to the lab. So what lab will do? PCR. PCR means what? PCR means the the pathogen, what you check them. Then it comes to microbiology. Even though there will be many kinds of bacteria colonies growing on the plate, but your technician will only look at the Vibrio,
Yeah, yes.
right? And he will only count green or yellow and finish the chapter, and he
Yeah.
will tell you, no, there is nothing. Then when it goes to farmer, then he starts suspecting about the sources. Oh, I am doing the best farming in the world, I don't have any issue, I have been doing this for last 20-30 years, so there is no issue from my side. So issue should be either in the hatchery or in the feed mill.
Okay.
So this problem actually, delays the to know about the issue, that what actually is the issue. And if we don't know the issue, how we can solve it? We
Yes.
have to understand the problem to solve it. So this took a longer time. Sometimes our technician, they also become protective. They don't want to say the issue before he knows it. So he tried to understand what actually is the problem. That also delays. So coming to the EHP, so we started working since 2015 on white faces syndrome. And then we had several trials in the lab to understand what actually is this.
Yeah.
So what we saw that when we keep in the tanks and in aquarium, even if it is we bought infected, already have white faces from the pond, we put them in the aquarium and observing every day. What happens? White faces will be there for 5-6 days and then disappear.
Okay.
Then it appears again after 10 days.
Okay.
Maybe the same shrimp or in different shrimp. But if we take it as a population, so
Yeah.
it will be like continuous process, happening. And when we check that time to the shrimp, they will have very less feeding, and and vibrio load will be higher. So the first suspect going was that, oh, it's the vibrio.
Okay.
Then slowly we found in the hepatopancreas there is something else. When we did histopathology, we found there is something else, and it looks like, mm, uh, you know parasite.
Okay.
Then we seriously started working on that, and we found it's not the known parasite, it's something different. It looks like. Then we isolated that from the feces. So we
Okay.
collected the spores from the feces of shrimp, and then we optimized the challenge level, how much
Yeah.
spores should be there so that shrimp can get infected in terms of white feces or in the hepatopancreas. So that took almost 2 years for us to develop that model. And side by side, other group of scientists were also working on that. So what we found that uh, it is not Vibrio which is causing white faces primarily. It is the EHP which is causing this disease. And it is damaging hepatopancreas, damaging stomach and gut. And Vibrio enters as secondary pathogen.
Okay.
So when you see Vibrio, load at the later stage, because EHP is going and making the hole, and it is creating the wound, or you can say it's like ulcer, and because of that the tissue, dead tissue comes out, which we look in terms of feces. We call it feces, but actually these are the degenerated tissue that that. So when there is wound, then this Vibrio, because Vibrio is omnipresent, is always there in the water of the sea, so it goes and start growing there, and it makes the situation more severe. And so what we found, what we did actually, that apart from pond cleaning, other procedure, our technical team worked on how to minimize the stress, and one of them were that how to take out plankton from the pond. To don't do green water system, do clean water system. So there is a terminology in Indonesian called muatan. So muatan system started. So in muatan system, when I will show you photo, you will see it clearly. When the paddle wheel splashes, in that you will see system, water splash is clear. It's like drinking water, clean water. The one which is green water, you will see the greenish or brownish water in the splash. So that is the indication that this pond is under muatan. So the plankton number will be very less, So we don't use fertilizer to grow plankton. Even some farms, they will not put any artificial feed for 2 weeks in the beginning. For 50 days, they don't feed artificial. They allow them to to be like that. So no fertilizer, no artificial feed, so that reduces the organic. So the purpose is that organic load at the bottom will be less. So it will not allow either bacteria or to these spores to grow until shrimp is more stronger. So these are the things we started doing. So during 2016-17 in Indonesia, if we take our farm and our buyer, our how to say, our the farms which are supported by us, those. So it was like almost like 60% prevalence level was there. But by applying this system, and we changed many things. I will send you the complete detail. Like it was like using yeast for fermentation. Don't use molasses, because when you are using molasses, it is bringing other bacteria and contaminants. So we used yeast for that, for fermentation. Then use different probiotics, not only one probiotics to. So the purpose was to clean the environment and make less dense of plankton. We don't allow plankton to grow if it is growing by itself. Okay, if it is reaching to the certain level, we kill them, bring it down. So that made our it reduced to less than 5% prevalence level. And also we promoted this HDP lining a lot. And also the most important two more points which I discussed also just now, we encouraged to bring the bigger size ponds like half hectare or 1 hectare ponds to a smaller. Make it at least 2,000 square meter. Or 0.2 hectare or even 1,000 square meter, and lined, fully lined. So this reduced the incidence level. Why it is a smaller? Because a smaller one is easier to manage. Because what we felt, this is our experience from a farm, when the ponds were like half hectare size, and half hectare means if the average depth is 1.2 meter, so in the middle it will be almost like 1.5 meter. and generally Indonesian people are a bit shorter. And farmers, when we started farming in 1995, that time our farmers were young,
Okay.
but now in 2010, they are like 50 plus or even 60 plus. Most of the farmers, because of the shrimp price, and continuous good production, they are rich. Their kids, they don't want to come to the farm and work.
Yeah.
Either they are in different business or doing. And as per our policy, these farmers are not allowed to keep worker for them. They have to do by themselves.
Okay.
So later on, we gave some relaxation also, but these were the problems with us. So, so we saw that this guy who is now 60 years old, he's not willing to enter to the pond to do the cleaning.
Okay.
So he's not cleaning the pond. But when you go and ask him, he's telling, yes, I'm doing. But real doing was not happening.
Okay.
So we have to, so we realized these problems. So if it is a smaller pond, even standing on the dike, he can use a
Yeah.
longer pipe and clean it. So when we build some model ponds, smaller in size, we found that, oh, this is really giving us good result. Here we are struggling to get like 10 to 15 ton per hectare. There we can get 40 ton per hectare easily
Oh.
when you convert in hectare. So we encourage that, and that is a term we call it kampung vanami. It's
Okay.
like even a small, kampung is village. In Indonesian, kampung means village and vanami is shrimp. So village vanami. So we started like backyard shrimp production. And this is very successful model of CP Prima here. I think more than 20,000 farmers uh, till 2019
Okay.
or 2020 beginning have been already adopted this. So whatever land he has, even he has 200-meter square, we help him to develop a pond there, and he does in super intensive. He will go with 70 to 80 pieces per square meter
Okay.
stocking density, and then he will have partial harvesting. Now the beauty here is that he can sell in the local market also, domestic market. He can sell, or even if it is like first partial harvesting will be when shrimps are like 15 gram, 12 to 15 gram. So indication is not on the size, Ravi Garu. Indication is on the D. If the DO is less than 4.5, then first, so it's all to determine the carrying capacity.
Yeah.
So if DO is less than this coming, then you harvest if first. So it goes like that. And then, so what I see that the major contribution was on the pond cleaning, pond bottom cleaning,
Okay.
So that we did, we took out the carrier and the spores, because even if you are spraying, that some trials have been conducted by Dr. Talaya, in Thailand, that okay, you apply pH 12, yeah, high alkaline, pH 12 or highly acidic. Uh, Practically not possible for for everyone to do that. It's these are like lab trials for scientific study, but when you want to implement it, it's not possible. So and right, so we have to find a way how to make it. And so having plastic lining, because if weather of Indonesia is 6 to 8 months raining, so that also is not supporting to have completely dry ponds like how we have in India. So plastic lining, and then having partial harvesting. These things helped a lot, and we could come back. And our stocking density since the beginning, after IMNV was, when we were stocking like 150 pieces per square meter, it reduced to 60 to 70 pieces per square meter as per recommendation. But outside farmers, some of them still go with 200 pieces per square meter, and they take risk on that. but partial harvesting has become a part of this. Now come to nursery, how much nursery is helping. Actually, because of the pond construction in Indonesia, nursery is not so popular yet here. Also in Indonesia, we don't have problem with EMS. Nursery mostly got popular in EMS area,
Yes.
like in Vietnam and in Thailand.
Yeah.
These two countries are the most adapted in nursery. But what we see, we started nursery on a trial, and of course, by doing nursery, you are reducing the risk and increasing the productivity. Now we are working actually on the other part, because you cannot encourage, it's difficult to encourage every farmer to have nursery. If that farmer is not able to do, that nursery means, when you take in the mind, it comes like, you have to produce pullet, and then it should be in the confined environment, well protected area. But Vietnam came up with the idea that, you just have like hapa, and you put in the same pond where you are going to stock, and you raise there for 20-30 days. But this is risky. You are losing that pond and also this hapa if any disease comes up. Now, what we are working actually on is to encouraging hatcheries to grow up to PL20 or PL30 instead of stocking, instead of harvesting at PL10.
Okay.
So the risk is at hatchery, or what we are doing, hatchery itself has its facility. So actually we are doing 2-step in the hatchery instead of asking farmer to go for 2-step.
Okay.
So yeah. So we have, now you can say we have 2-3 kinds of PLs, PL10, PL20, PL30. So so depends on the area, which is, on the basis, we have made zoning system, red zone, yellow zone, green zone. So if it is a red zone, which is a high disease,
Okay.
area, there we encourage farmer to stock the bigger size PLs, which are already 0.4 gram to 0.5, and then risk reduces. The chances of, because at that size getting bacterial diseases is less. Now, if he is protecting himself from IMNV and WSSP, then his it gives guarantee of 70% successful crop.
Naturally.
So right. So what we are trying to do, Ravi Garu, that we are not putting all the pressure at the farmer. Oh, your system is wrong, you should do like this. We are also, making ourselves um, uh, um, advanced on these things. So we understood that farmer is, it's not possible for even for us to establish nursery in all the area. So we grow to a higher PL stage, and then we stop. And yeah, one, investment has increased, because previously we were, mostly using only 2 kinds of probiotics, Super PS and Super NP. Now you will see in our farm there are like 4 or 5 kinds of probiotics at different stages. Then these things, like what I was discussing in the previous seminar, that a technician or a supervisor, or even the person who is controlling the technical things about that farm, he has to understand that probiotics is for what purpose. All probiotics are having different targets. There is a mindset, like I tell you about our farm in CPP. Whenever there was any problem, that GM farm, he was always applying Super PS, and he was increasing the load of Super PS. So even if you need bacillus to control certain things, but he was applying, this one, Photobacter in the pond. So this was a kind of like belief, and I don't think this was a kind of belief. It's more on the terms of education also, that you must know that what is the purpose of all this.
Species.
It may help, maybe it helps sometimes, because he had that problem also, and it came to his mind that whenever he's applying, it's getting better. So educating our people, understand the problem,
Yeah.
like how you call it in English, all glitters are not gold.
Mm.
It's the same happens with Vanami also. All the white are not IMNV, all the like we have also found, when we started, and yeah, tilapia or any fish. Why I'm talking tilapia? Because its surface area is bigger and it has mucus all over, so it is able to absorb more pathogen on its body than other fish. Like if you are taking milk fish, it's more slimmer, right? It's a stream, so surface area is not so big for milk fish. If even in China, in Guangdong, I have seen that even some farmers, they are keeping uh, you know big head carp
Yeah.
and even some sheepfish in the ponds, which is able to reduce the load. So tilapia has two advantages. One is that it is reducing the load of IMNV. I'm giving more emphasis on IMNV because we have experienced much here, and India already is positive
Yeah,
to
it is there.
IMNV.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and you will see when it is, because IMNV is in the way that it, even you keep it just in the water and keep at room temperature in a test tube, you take it out after 50 days and inject to the shrimp will die.
Okay.
It doesn't degenerate for more
Okay.
than 60 days. But when you keep it with tilapia, this free IMNV degenerates in 20 days, 15 to 20 days.
Good,
It
good.
also
Good.
degenerates very fast at lower salinity. If the salinity is less than 5 ppt, then also this free IMNV degenerates faster.
Okay.
Now, yeah. So these are the things which uh, I sent one article, compile all my experiences of IMNV. Once it published, I am expecting
Yeah,
this
please.
month. Then I will share with you openly.
Share it.
Yeah. So this is about how we try to tackle with IMNV. So these are the things which many things we found, like monodon. Monodon can carry IMNV, but monodon itself will not get infected.
Okay.
It will not get disease. It will you will not find any inclusion in monodon body because of IMNV. But when you keep monodon and Vanami together, it will transmit to Vaname.
Okay.
Rosenbergi doesn't get infected by IMNV, but it carries.
Yeah.
When you keep Rosenbergi with Vanami will get IMNV.
Okay.
So this mixed farming is good. I guess in India, mixed farming is more popular,
It's
right? Because
becoming, it's picking up now.
salinity goes. Yeah. So in this situation, we have to keep in mind, like one pathogen, maybe it's not one bacteria or virus is not pathogenic to this species, but the other species may get transmit and infected. So these are the things which we have to consider. So I give you one example of streptococcus.
Yes.
Streptococcus is well known for fish
Tilapia.
disease,
Yeah.
yeah, tilapia. But what we have found, it is equally dangerous for Vanami also.
Oh.
Even log 3 or log 4 of streptococcus can kill Vanami.
Oh, is it?
We tried in the lab, and then we saw, oh, it is. And when, and we are the one who popularize mixed farming tilapia and Vanami. And later on, we see there is high mortality in the pond. First thing comes, okay, check by PCR, what we discussed
Yeah.
just now. When you check by PCR, oh, it's negative to IMNV, it's negative to other diseases. Then what caused? Then, like, it took us time to understand that streptococcus can also kill the shrimp. And then we isolated, we conducted trial. Yes, even when you take the hemolymph of shrimp infected streptococcus, you can see it is cloudy,
Okay.
and the one which is healthy shrimp, it's clear. So
Okay.
these are the things which we when we study about the diseases, we try to develop to identify some symptoms like this, or some characteristics like this, so that we can explain to the farmer to understand.
Yes.
Like when we talk about IMNV or high vibrio load, whether this shrimp has high vibrio load or not. First, we see at the telson. If telson is reddish, not greenish, if it is, it means that, or the sensory, if it is reddish, means shrimp is in a stress condition. It is not living in the healthy environment. Second thing, you take the hemolymph of shrimp and you put on the slide, and then you see what is the clotting time. If clotting time is less than 30 seconds,
Yeah.
then we consider the shrimp is healthy. But if the clotting time is taking longer than 30 seconds, sometimes it's 1 minute, like you
Yeah.
challenge a shrimp with white spot and then you clot it, it takes much longer time.
Yes.
So these are the simple techniques which we convey to our technicians and to our farmers, so that they can check and understand, yeah, there is a problem.
Okay.
So now what we are seeing, that the case of white faces uh, is uh, is very low here, particularly in Indonesia.
Yeah, good.
So we don't have to work much on that. What I told you, we develop
Yeah.
SOP and we work. Some cases one or two comes, that is normal. We cannot stop 100%. But if you ask me, how is China and Vietnam and Thailand, they are at the worst. Is more than 70% of the cases, like in those countries, EMS and EHP are together. Most of the time is mixed infection. And there is a publication from Dr. Arun Dhar, University of Arizona, that when there is a mixed infection, then the rate of mortality is accelerated. Is more than 90% in few days. When you challenge alone to EMS shrimp in the lab, very seldom we get more than 50% mortality. you know like there will be 80-90% shrimps will have symptoms, but only 40-50% will die, other will get recovered. In EMS infection, mortality happens only for 2 to 3 days. After that, shrimp start recovering.
Okay.
So there also your management, plays role. If you are able to control, to keep the stressless condition, then mortality rate will be lower. And we also have developed, some natural products, which we are introducing through Manoj Sharma.
Okay.
So he tried, yeah. So he tried in some 100 ponds in 2020,
Okay.
and so he also reported, that where he applied, he got. So we have we call it pond guard. So it has two ways. Actually, our complete SOP is that it is applied in the pond.
Okay.
Which is the water supplement. So applied in the pond, and then also spray on the feed, top up on the feed.
Okay.
So top up on the feed 4 ml to 10 ml per kilo, and apply in the pond is this 4 liter per hectare,
Okay.
0.4 pp. It's two times a week. So what happened, that what report he has given to me, his experience, India experience, where he got IMNV positive, because he told me he has two targets, WSSV and IMNV.
Yeah.
So WSSV tried in Mr. Saji ponds, and he told that he applied in 10 ponds. It was surrounded by WSSV, and he could get safe harvest. Now come to Manoj's pond. So he tried in more than 80 ponds. So he did two SOP. One was he did only applying in the water. Another one he applied in water and also spray on the feed.
Okay.
So so apply in water and spray on the feed. He's telling he got more than 90% survival.
Excellent.
And the one which, yeah, the one in IMNV positive ponds. Then the one he got, no, in IMNV suspected area.
Okay.
I would say. Then the one he only applied in the water, he got about 78 to 80%. And the one in which he didn't apply any, he got about 60% survival.
Clear.
So
It's clear that it's
yeah, he gave me very clear picture. Yeah, his report is with me. I will forward to you that one. So this is a testimony for India we got. So
good.
so here we are applying 100%. So our objective is very clear. Hatchery uh, should be very clean, and the advantage with us is that we have very good traceability, because uh, SIS is our own company. So I would also say that they are very open with us. So we get brood stock from there. Here hatchery is in well protected area, is far from farming area. And then we have our own polychaete producing facility.
Great.
This we are producing since 2009, I think
Okay.
2009,
Which
10.
species it is?
It's Nuntia.
Okay.
Nuntia. Yeah. So a smaller size.
Okay.
The species which is found here, sandworm is sandworm. So we are using that, and we are trying to then when we are buying other food for shrimps, that we are getting mostly from US.
Okay.
Artemia also from that lake. So considering that that is non-farming area now, US also started shrimp farming, so we don't know from where we should get now. But we are trying our best, and that actually increases the cost of production.
Okay.
Then this is about hatchery. Then and tolerance level is very high. The same thing when I visited CPF Thailand, because they suffered a lot from EMS and now EHP. So the tolerance level is very, very low, almost zero tolerance level. Suppose if one tank is getting positive, I just give you example either of EHP or EMS or WSSP, the whole stock will be killed. Even they go and kill the brood stock, because that is the source.
Okay.
So that like it's not happening because biosecurity is very, but the rule is like this,
Okay.
that if normally what when you talk to outside technicians, they will say, oh, we got one time PCR positive, then we run 5 times or 3 times. If negative, we keep it. But we don't keep any uh, advantage of doubt in hatchery. Positive is positive. Why we check second, third time to just to to keep okay. If it is negative, I can keep it. It's money. We don't know, when this much of babies you are spreading to many ponds, and then from many ponds it will spread all over the
Yes.
farming region. So many of us, we don't understand the consequences, and that makes us not aware of what crime we are doing. So this has to be very strict for the people to follow. And it will it will come from what is my understanding, it will come only when a person knows what are the consequences. So we have to educate. So education is very important in these things. Then coming to the what I told you, we are trying to grow bigger size of PLs and then provide to the farmers. Then he has to give much emphasis on the pond construction, like water preparation, pond preparation before stocking. That actually gives us 60% surety that this crop is going to be good. After that, uh, yeah, we follow the SOP, but we have to understand that SOP should be taken as a guideline, not as a Bible or Quran, that you must follow this. This also is a misunderstanding from many of technicians. They try to follow 100%. No, you are there at the spot. You have to decide how to do. So these are the things we do, and problem always comes. That's why we are in the market to solve this. Do you have any specific question to me? You can ask me.
If you can sum up on white feces control, like one is plankton control, first thing.
Right.
Second thing is clean bottom, right?
Yeah.
And third thing, what you mentioned is
Stress, Vibrio load down,
stress.
because you can see the difference. I would just like to say there is EHP positive, but if the Vibrio load is higher in that pond, you
Yeah.
can see white faces from DOC 40 onwards.
Yeah.
But if the Vibrio load is low, there is EHP positive, you can see white faces maybe DOC 70 or 80. So
Okay.
this is 1 month difference, and
Yeah.
that when it is when you find white faces at DOC 70, you will not be in loss. Maybe you
Yes.
will not get much profit, but you will
Yeah.
not be in loss. But if it is 30,
Yeah.
yes. Yes, please continue.
That's all, Raju. I want to know about white feces control only. And thank you very much. It will really helpful to Indian farmers, all Indian farmers.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll come back to you if any specific issue is there. Thank you very much. Thanks for
Sure, anytime.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
And this
Thank you very much, sir.
Streptococcus is a very new information for me. So
You
have to cross-check.
can ask your lab guy.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.